Lou Hamilton from Audible Elegance, Cincinnati, Ohio. We are located in downtown Old Montgomery, across the street from Montgomery Cyclery. I write a monthly blog. We do work on Facebook and Instagram. And tonight I thought I'd talk about where the meat and the potatoes can be found in our videos. A lot of people enjoy the videos themselves. A few people have commented otherwise, but that's okay. But you really need to take the time to look at the comments that people write. And the reason I say this is that some of the comments are very insightful and very, very helpful because they ask a question and I trigger a response which is far more detailed than I get into in the video itself. More information, different angles on a common problem or a common subject. And that's where a lot of great stuff can be found. And I really encourage you to look at those comments. Go back and look at some of the old articles in the comments. Some of them are priceless. Where people make comments that are constructive and even corrective in a constructive sort of way, that's great because that helps everybody get a further view of the entire subject. Tonight, I'd like to pick up on a comment that someone sent to me. I must admit it was pretty rough on me, the comment, but as I investigated it, he was right. And that's going over to the Thorens turntables, and one of the things that I pointed out about a lot of Thorens turntables having been improperly transported, resulting in dipples in the bearing well and things like that, which degrades the performance. And this gentleman brought to my attention a material called Torlon, and it's made actually in a little flat plastic disc that'll fit into the bottom of Thorens turntable bearing wells. This is for models like the 125, 160, 160 Super, 145s. And if you go to their site, some of these products are available on eBay, for example. If you go to their site, they also give other recommendations of what to do. And I'm a little not too sure about those because Thorens does have specific bearing oil that they like to use. It's not a full bath, mind you, but the suggestion is using a form of motor oil, a very light grade, which essentially might be the same thing. I don't know. I'd have to, I don't have the ability to chemically analyze these things. There are some discussions about cleaning the bearing well. Maybe, but there's also a suggestion about polishing the side of the bearings. And I'm a little worried about that because unless you really know what you're doing, you might create more problems than solve. Now, while this plate may solve the dipple problem and the noise problem, it doesn't address to me one of the things that I learned in working with Lynn turntables all many years, and that is that the bearing and the bearing well themselves are mated after extensive use. And I'm not exactly sure how that plays into the use of the Torlon. Obviously, it's dealing with the dipple and the thrust plate. Now, whether it deals with any sort of spot or anything on the bearing itself, I don't know. In terms of how much damage that has done and whether that'll affect the use of the Torlon. But it does have a good reputation of being very, very resilient to wear. So I'll give the commenter credit for bringing that to my attention. I didn't know there was a product like that. For those people who have the 124 model, they actually have someone who's done a Torlon bearing. Apparently the bearing system can be disassembled. And it includes a sapphire ball bearing to be used with it. Now that system isn't cheap. It's like $125 for it. How well it works, I cannot say. I don't have a Thorens 124. I've never played with this product. But I wanted to bring to your attention, there are people looking at the issues of bearing well um, and wear on the Thorens turntables. So you might take a look at those, and the Torlon piece is fairly inexpensive, like $25. So it might be worth a venture down that range and see what happens. It's not a terribly expensive approach. So there we are. Thank you to the commenter for bringing that to my attention. It's an attempt to solve a problem. I appreciate that.